Definitely want to still be ready for some heat if it comes around the corner. Because they love scripting ambushes. And there goes all my armor. Probably could have handled that better with a submachine gun, if I'm honest. So yeah, the thing I liked about Resident Evil Resistance, the thing that most people were enthusiastic about was the notion of a sort of human antagonist of sorts, because the thing with a Resident Evil game is that once you have the sense of where everything is and how to defeat the bosses and so forth, a lot of the value of it just becomes going for less time or like weird self-imposed achievements, which is fine. I mean, I'm cool with that. But the issue there with Resistance was the fact that, oh, you know, there'll be a player acting as dungeon master, so to speak, that will make every match or experience different. That was the role of the mastermind. I was substantially more enthusiastic about being the mastermind, because it's like, so you're telling me that it's my job to screw over 4 other people. And that's the whole point. Like, that's not even, like, griefing. That's the job. Now, for the record, that in particular was not what drew it to me. It was the fact that, wait, we get to play as bioweapons? Because I was like, play as Mr. X. Oh, I'll have that. Play as G. Birkin. Cool. And yeah, I know that, like, RE6 had that thing where you could basically invade other people's games as, you know, the monsters, but it's not the same. So I was really enthusiastic about the Mastermind, and the game, like, ran fine in its initial, like, the demo release. So I was really enthusiastic about getting in on that, and the problem was, well, it's basically just history now. Capcom, or whoever was responsible, really screwed up, Resistance. Now, for starters, you have to figure that a lot of the people playing back when it was a demo, because it was free to, you know, do that, you've got a broader spectrum of people. And so that probably might have contributed to the lobbies being filled faster and so forth, because it's free, so there's no reason for people not to take the greatest possible advantage of that. But the thing was, it had no dedicated servers, which meant the Mastermind was the host, which led to all kinds of just bad behavior. Did they die as soon as they landed? That's a bit of a glitch. So if Masterminds were going to lose, they would literally just pull the plug on their internet. That means that the survivors don't get to win either, because of the fact the game didn't have dedicated servers. But the bigger issue that I experienced was that when the game was properly released, maybe it was just an issue of the fact that all the people playing at that point were diehards who were, like, grinding it out. But they nerfed the Mastermind. And I can understand the mathematics behind doing something like that, because think about it, if the Mastermind wins, 4 players walk away butthurt, but 1 player walks away, you know, grinning from ear to ear. But if the Mastermind loses, 4 players walk away very pleased with themselves, and 1 player walks away butthurt. Oh, for God's sake. That's the overachiever head crab. So numerically, it makes more sense to appease the survivors. The problem is, suddenly, any and all desire to play the Mastermind had basically evaporated. Because what's the point? Unless you have your whole thing maxed out, and you have build-specific, it's basically impossible for the survivors to lose unless they are actual morons. And then, of course, there was the queue times. I mean, I was in a Mastermind queue for an hour and a half. And there were people queuing for Mastermind for even longer than that. And the other issue is that, okay, say you got a group of friends, they're all Resident Evil enthusiasts, right? So, naturally, they all get the game. And you could all get into a match together. The thing is, if you ran a sort of a match like that, like a private match that wasn't filled, they reduced the amount of points you got for the stuff that you were doing. Now, I dropped the game completely because of all the bullshit, so I don't know if it's changed or whatever since then, but it basically was like, so I'm not incentivized to actually play with people that I know, where we don't have to deal with queuing for lobbies, because we can all just form up in a game, and where we can balance it better maybe by just having 2 or 3 survivors instead of 4, so the Mastermind's not completely overwhelmed with how you horribly imbalance their abilities, nerfing them into absolute oblivion. Really should be saving these revolver rounds. I'm going to need them in the next set piece, because since I have played this recently, I remember exactly what I'm getting into. And then, of course, there were lots of exploiters and so forth, and as usual for big companies, Capcom just couldn't seem to be bothered to do anything about it. Again, I don't know if I'm attributing the correct production entity or developer or whoever was responsible. They done fucked up. That's the point. Fuck. Yeah, this set piece is gonna be excruciating. And it wouldn't let me grab the grenade because there's an invisible wall there because of the scripting. It is possible to prevent that bullshit from happening. And yes, there is a fucking Combine dickhead up there. Should have paid more attention to collisions, asshole. Yeah, nice try. How are you supposed to... Guess you're just supposed to walk over it. Sure. Why not? Ah! Black. Yeah, don't mind me if I stick a pin in my Resident Evil Resistance rant because I'm focusing on this section, because this section kind of requires it. I picked up the magazine I dropped instead of the fucking grenade! Oh, fun! No, I don't want an explosive barrel on the fucking thing that I'm going to have to use to get up there. Although, I can't think of one useful place to stick it. Okay, I gotta roll it, so... Get over the fence. There we go. Kind of... Yeah. Yeah. That is how we do it. Tuck that away on the inside, and then use these barrels to block off the thing. So in case he spawns outside, can't get in. I've noticed I've been barricading a lot in this game. As for the why, because it works. Flat stack will fit better. Like, I'm gonna have to get back in here later to, use the med stations. Should be able to deftly, without getting crushed between the elevator and the other thing. There we go. Now we have no cover on this slow-moving traversal thing. So it's gonna be rough. Ah! Oh, I almost want to leave him alone. But fuck him. Get off of it as soon as possible. For obvious reasons. The goddamn death trap. The trouble is, as you ascend, a guy is either going to spawn in there or try to get in. We're also going to have some of those elite Overwatch coming up here to bug us. Yeah, for them, crossbow. Or just headshots, that works too. I think last time I was being a little stingy with the fucking pulse rifle because I'm like, I might not get ammo for it. Yeah, well, now when... Yeah, no, it's when I step here and try to go across the rails. Because that is actually how we pathfind to the other side of this room. There's gonna be a guy down there that's gonna try to screw with it. Oh, but he can't, because I fucking blocked it off. Ah! Ah! Oh. Foreknowledge plus physics equals fucking with the scripting. Wait, where? Oh, that won't be the last of them. Now I'm running low on that. Hey, they didn't even crack my suit charge. That's a win. Oh god, how in the fuck am I supposed to get that stuff? Oh well, I suppose I could just walk around the upper level. You know, like an intelligent human being. So yeah, before Resistance came out, I was thinking to myself that these online multiplayer things have progression systems. And if you fall behind, you can end up basically never being able to catch up, at least not without some serious grind. And I figured the Doom Eternal wouldn't have that, so I figured it would be better if I kept up with Resident Evil Resistance, and by extension get Resident Evil 3 at launch, than get Doom Eternal, even though Doom Eternal was the game that I would have, under any other circumstance, prioritized. And that's what I did. And then I get utterly disappointed with the disaster that was Resident Evil Resistance, you know, when it... I wouldn't even say just at launch, it's still a disaster. Because to my knowledge, it hasn't been fixed. And it's basically dead now. I mean, they're pushing that whole RE-verse thing that nobody asked for, and nobody wants, pretty much. Because it just looks terrible. Okay, there is a slight issue of how am I supposed to get to the lower level? Because this thing is here now, and there's no switch for moving it down from up here. Oh, I know. And duh. This is a quick save moment. Oh. Ah, it's not too bad. One problem that this might create is that this might trigger more guard spawns because it's scripted to come back down when that guy throws the lever, and then... Oh, what do you know? That's what you call fucking familiarity with a game, where you just know that doing a thing is gonna cause a fucking guard spawn or something. I wish I had that familiarity with Doom Eternal. I could do an Ultra Nightmare run and have maximum bragging rights, but I still die on Ultra Violence, much less fucking Nightmare. Guess I just haven't gotten good enough for that yet. Oh well, one day, maybe, perhaps, mayhaps. Could use more rifles if those guys down there... What? Oh, now the fence falls through. Why didn't it fall through before? Last time I did this, I prevented the bridge from being blown out, the fence didn't collapse, although perhaps preventing the bridge from being blown out is why the fence didn't collapse. Oh god, am I just stuck on physics? Well, I'm stuck on physics and the auto mantle. That's also making things difficult. So, we got a full-up pulse rifle, which is good. Because this is your... not a heavy weapon, but in terms of the conventional enemy infantry managing weapons, this is probably your big gun. Shotgun's not bad. Good load for the crossbow. Full up on rockets. Normally it would be 5, this mod reduces it to 3. Not super happy about that, but the thing is, most of the enemies that you need to use rockets on, like the gunships or the striders, they don't go down in 3 or 5. So unless you've got one of those infinite magic rocket boxes nearby, you ain't taking them down. So long before modern military shooters beat the trope to death of, like, you get a rocket launcher precisely when you need one to deal with a vehicle, Half-Life was doing it. So yeah, I prioritized RE3 and ended up delaying for a while on Doom Eternal, and I was just like, and I basically got screwed in doing that. Because the multiplayer ended up being something that I and pretty much nobody else wanted to even be involved in, because of how fucking shit it ended up being. And I delayed on Doom Eternal, and of course Doom Eternal has like a seasonal thing where cosmetics are available for play. And I'm honestly, and in a complete inversion of like how badly Resident Evil Resistance as a multiplayer experience was fucked up, Doom Eternal actually did a fantastic job of not making the stuff that you unlock dependent upon actually playing multiplayer. Because honestly, all the stuff I've unlocked is just running single player at different difficulties and doing challenge modes. And it's so nice to just not have to do the multiplayer thing. And it's not like Doom Eternal multiplayer is bad. I don't know. I haven't played it. Because the guys who do play Doom Eternal more regularly than I do have probably gotten so good that I'm going to go there and look like an absolute, you know, butt-scratching scrub. Wow, that did nothing. Oh yeah, we're getting close to Barney, aren't we? Along with a bunch of resistance fighters who are certain to die because they don't understand the notion of don't run out into the street filled with snipers. Toss some grenades at them, Gordon. Yeah, Gordon must have one hell of a HEV suit augmented throwing arm to hit them with fucking grenades at that distance. Why not give me rockets? So much more effective. Worked in the first Half-Life. Works in this one. Instead, they give you grenades.